And a good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bay Springs High School at Billy W. Hinton Press Box and Field. We're coming to you live from the Dog Pound, Kinsley.
It was funny when you said press box.
Well, I was looking over there at the press box, and I'm realizing we're in the stands. So we're in the stands, but I'm looking at the Billy W. Hinton press box.
Right, okay, so you're looking at it.
There's not.
You kind of have to use
Yeah. So it's the Bay Springs Field. It's not. It doesn't have a name, so they call it the Dog Pound here. So
it kind of feels that way.
It does. Well, you know, it's hot.
Yeah,
the bleachers are from the '60s, so everybody's going to have to go get a tetanus shot tomorrow. But you know, other than that, everything's good.
Yeah.
And so, Kinsley, it's going to be a tough one for the Tigers tonight. Bay Springs is coming into the game at 3-1. Northeast hasn't won a game yet. They're 0-4. So let's take a look at who the Bulldogs have beaten to start the season off at the Battle of the Bell. The Dogs beat Stringer 39-6. They beat Philadelphia earlier in the season 38-14. They beat Morton 45-14, and they lost to West Jones 35-13.
Okay, so I mean, it looks like from the start of the season, they've pretty much played some other, I guess you can say, used to be reputable teams. I'm not really so sure of the standing of those teams now based on those scores. They're not as reputable as they used to be. But unless they just, you know, we're looking at a really good Bay Springs team this year. I haven't really been able to follow them, but it looks like they may be proved themselves to be a pretty tough opponent.
Well, Kinsley, Bay Springs in the past several years has always been known as a perennial 2A power. They've been deep in the 2A playoffs the last several years. They're pretty strong. They do what you call a wing tee, which is something teams don't run anymore.
Right.
For all you Tiger fans listening, the Tigers did run that back in the 90s under Coach Larry Ishii, then under Coach Bubba Hathorn. They've kind of gotten away from that the past decade. But they are starting to run the football more this year. Now, the Tigers, for them, they started off the season at home against Taylorsville and fell to Taylorsville 28-25 in a controversial game where there should have been some calls for the Tigers that didn't go their way. Then they lost to West Jones 33-0. The second game of the season. They fell to Collins 39-10, and then last week lost at South Jones 28-21, where in a game where Phi McGee left the game in the third quarter with an injury, and he will not be playing tonight.
Right, and it seems if it wasn't for that unfortunate turn of events, the game would have the outcome would have been totally different. But due to that, Coach Brett was forced to make a couple of changes, and so he had to put Mason Smith in the game, and he came in and did a phenomenal job. But it just kind of like too little, too late. But you know, they still, I would say that that was one of the best games that they played defensively.
Yes. That is correct. Other than the Taylorsville game, they did play pretty well.
They did.
One thing is key, though. The offensive line needs to step up. I'm going to be honest. The offensive line hasn't been too strong the past several weeks. Actually, you know, of course, we've played some tough competition as far as 2A schools go. But the offensive line needs to step up.
Right, and saying that, I mean, they have a really good players along the offensive line. I mean, I know they're really talented. I mean, you have some standout guys along that offensive line, such as right tackle Jackson Flint. I mean, he's a really great guy along that offensive line, along with Keegan Davis. They're really, really talented guys. But I mean, it could just be, I believe it's probably just the strength of the schedule. They really haven't gotten into conference play or division.
Right, you are correct on that.
Right now it's looking like it's really just a thing where they're playing really tough opponents right now. So when they get into the meat of the schedule, they play these teams that really matter. You know, the fact that they face